Well, hey everybody. If you remember the last video, I didn't know if I was going to do another one, and then I know I'd made a promise to myself to do a few. So I'm going to do another one this morning. I wanted to do this. It's a big day in the life of our family. The second wedding in our family, in our little branch of the tree, is tomorrow. So we have rehearsal. We got to get on the road later today. So I'm gonna work for just a couple hours here this morning, and had a little time when I first came outside. I wanted to get this message out. If you hear a train in the background, that's just them hauling grain from the grain bin 3 miles away, something like that. And the hawks are already chasing each other this morning, so I have some background noise, which is beautiful. I love it outside. So I'm gonna give you a fill in the blank. We want to do that today. Fill in the blank. All right, here we go. If you really want to know who someone is, give them what? What would you say? If you really want to know who someone is, give them, I think a lot of people would say money. That's probably true. That's probably true. In fact, that is kind of the direction I'm going, but not completely. Give them power. If you really want to know who someone is, give them power. So I want you to roll that around. Give that a little place in your heart and your mind today. See how you think that plays out. You see, I heard somebody say that. That's not original to me. I heard somebody say that. It's been quite a while ago now, and my thought was, yeah, that's true. That's true. So let's plug that into our lives. Have you ever been in a position where maybe you had someone that was equal to you, a peer, at work, or maybe even in the family? I mean, it just kind of depends. And you knew who they were, and now they've got a promotion. You're not eating lunch together anymore. You're not in the break room anymore. They're either your boss or they're somebody else's boss. And that person that used to sit beside you in the break room and talk about this or that, or be able to relate to you on this or that level, well, now they've taken a new position. They've been given a little power. Did it change them? I'd like to say hopefully not all the time, but some of the time, yeah. Because you see, it's easy to sit in one position and say, this is how I would be, this is what I would do, and then somebody hands you some power, and you have a new decision to make. Maybe it's not the same as you thought, or maybe, just maybe, you're not the person you thought you were. That's interesting to chew on, isn't it? Well, I think it is. So what do we do? It's easy to say, hey, I had so-and-so do that to me. This happened to me. They did this to me. Boy, did you see how they did that? That's all fine and good. Okay, I get that. But what about you? And what about me? What do we do whenever we're the ones that's given some power? Man, I used to have there was a minister friend of ours years ago. Well, I call him a friend. I mean, he was just our minister. I wasn't really that close to him necessarily, but he was an older gentleman. And I remember, I know it's a common saying, but he used to say it all the time. He'd say, well, that's where the rubber meets the road. That's what he used to say. Yeah, you can see that back there? I can't get my head out of the way. Yeah, sunrise. There we go. So, what do we do when we're the ones that are given the power? How does that shape out in our lives? And sometimes we don't see it coming. Sometimes we don't see the fact that we're going to be given a situation where we're the ones that are responsible for delegation or just overseeing what's going on in other people's lives. So I'm going to give a couple instances, and then I'm going to get out of here, okay? I don't want to make these too long. Plus, I got a big day at work and a big day of family. What do we do when we're given the position of power, even inside our families. Now, if you've watched many of these, maybe you haven't, but if you have, you understand the ministry part of my life. I filmed a couple of these just prior to and just after leading funeral services. Most of the time, inside a funeral service, the family dynamic of the loss of a family member, there's a shakedown and a shuffle in the quote-unquote power inside a family. I've seen that handled beautifully, and I've seen a lot of train wrecks. I've seen a lot of times where the families come to me as the minister and say, things aren't good. Would you pray for us? Things inside the family aren't good. The loss of grandma, the loss of grandpa, the loss of mom, the loss of dad has just really upset the dynamics. What's happened? The power's changing hands. Now, I don't expect, and I'm not going to get in anybody's kitchen. I'm not baking bread in your bakery, okay? I'm not going to go there. But what do we do when we're given power? What do we do when someone else around us is given power and they don't handle it so well? Because it's going to happen. Now, I started off talking about money because a lot of people think that if you give someone money, that shows. Well, that's true. But the reason that it has power, or the reason that it's money can change us, is because money has power. In our culture, money has a lot of power, so it's easy to go there. But you don't have to have money to be in power. So I'll close this up since my heart's always there anyway, but it's especially there right now. I have the privilege and the honor of officiating the wedding ceremony tomorrow. What do we do with the power in our marriages? We hear a lot about the times that it goes bad, but I also want to talk about the times when it goes well. Because the power dynamic in a marriage, people say it's 50-50. I disagree. There are very rare times when it's 50-50, but there are times throughout your marriage. And Julie and I will be married 34 years this year, when one or the other, the husband or the wife, holds more quote-unquote power. I really hate to call it that, but you know what I mean. There's times whenever the ball's more in my court, and it's my opportunity to show her and our family how I truly feel and how much I really love her. And then there's times when the ball's more in her court, and occasionally it crosses over 50-50, but you both have power. So what do we do with it? What do we do with it in our marriages? What do we do with it in our families? And what do we do with it in the world? Because if you really want to know who someone is, give them power. I hope, and I do pray, that we handle our power well. So, I got a big day. I hope you do too. May God bless you on your journey as we share a few things together. Till next time, this is Todd. See ya.